They called it children's programming. We called it trauma with commercial breaks. Let's reopen the files on the creepiest kids' TV episodes from the 1990s. This is Cringe Capsule excavating the moments when Saturday morning fun swerved into full-blown horror. Think skeletal pool ghosts, profanity-laced geniuses, and a Garfield special that made us fear October fog. Dim the lights. These For Kids episodes are still scarier than half of Netflix's horror queue. Hey Arnold, Haunted Train, 1997. Friday evening, you've got a bowl of cereal, Arnold's football-shaped head is on screen, and all seems cozy until Grandpa Phil starts spinning a campfire yarn about a condemned subway line driven by a ghost conductor who ferries lost souls straight to the other side. Naturally, Arnold, Gerald, and Helga decide the only reasonable response is to sneak into the abandoned station after dark. Nickelodeon, meet pure urban legend terror. Everything in the episode is engineered for preteen goosebumps. Flickering tunnel lights, dripping water, echoing footsteps, and that conductor's voice, an unholy croak that bellows, "All aboard!" just before the train screeches in, glowing red like it rolled out of Dante's Commute. By the time our trio clambers aboard, viewers are questioning their own basement lights. The genius twist? It's mostly a series of Scooby-Doo misreads, sparks that look like hellfire, drafty tunnels wailing like banshees. But 2 minutes from the credits, the kids finally reach daylight and breathe easy, only for a ghostly locomotive to thunder past behind them, whistle howling. The screen cuts to black before anyone can say just kidding, cementing the episode as fan canon proof that the haunted train actually exists. Kids who watched in 1997 spent the next month side-eyeing every New York subway car and Grandpa Phil's harmless bedtime stories. Lesson learned. In Hillwood City, even grabbing a late-night slice can land you on a one-way ride to the afterlife. Speed Demon. The Powerpuff Girls Accidental Apocalypse, 1999. Cartoon Network usually served Townsville with sunshine, sugar, and large helpings of Mojo Jojo slapstick. Then came Season 2's Curveball, an episode so bleak it felt like a Metallica track snuck onto a Kidz Bop album. It starts innocently enough. Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup decide to race home really fast after school. They break the sound barrier, overshoot the calendar, and land decades in the future. Cue nightmare fuel. Townsville is a charcoal wasteland, skyscrapers leaning like burned matchsticks. Citizens shuffle around as gray, toothy husks wailing, "The Powerpuff Girls abandoned us." Their new overlord, him, already the creepiest villain on CN, now a skeletal 2-story devil with goat legs, clown makeup, and a voice pitched somewhere between Satan and a drag queen with bronchitis. He cackles that the girl's absence let him enslave everyone, then literally cracks a flaming whip made of suffering souls. Saturday morning fun, right? The girls throw hands, but even after defeating him, the damage is done. Their time travel return simply resets the timeline, leaving kids to ponder butterfly effect guilt before lunchtime. Parents flooded message boards. Did Cartoon Network just show my 6-year-old nuclear winter? Rumors spread that the episode was pulled. It wasn't, but CN quietly stopped rerunning it during daylight hours. Today, Speed Demon lives on YouTube playlists titled Cartoons That Traumatized Us, proof that even pastel superhero shows can detour into existential horror, and teach a generation that maybe you shouldn't floor it past the speed of light on the way home from recess. Rude removal. Dexter and Edd Eddy discover F-bombs. Made 1998, shelved until 2013. Dexter's laboratory was famous for technobabble and sibling slap fights, but Gen X animators occasionally slipped in jokes for the Night Owl crew. Their magnum opus of How Did This Get Past Standards was Rude Removal, a 7-minute short produced for TNT's late-night anthology. Plot: Dexter builds a machine to extract Dee Dee's bad manners. Naturally, both kids get split into polite clones and foul-mouthed doppelgangers. The rude versions look the same, except their eyebrows do that angry owl shape, and immediately unleash a torrent of profanity so spicy, even Dexter's robot arms clutch pearls. Every single swear is hard bleeped, but the lip sync is crystal clear. We're talking rapid-fire mother S and ing idiots that leave mom's casserole smoking. Polite Dee Dee offers, "Would you care for a crumpet?" while Evil Dee Dee replies with a noise Gordon Ramsay reserves for raw chicken. Cartoon Network execs watched the final cut, turned the same shade as Courage the Cowardly Dog, and quietly locked the tape in a vault. Bootlegs, of course, leaked. Grainy AVI files labeled RUDEREMOVALUNCUT.zip flew around LimeWire in the early 2000s, becoming a rite of passage for edgy middle schoolers. The legend grew, "There's a Dexter episode where they say the F word, dude." 15 years later, January 2013, Adult Swim finally streamed the short Bleeps Intact as a nostalgia stunt. Viewers confirmed two things. Yes, Jendi Tartakovsky's comedic timing is impeccable, and yes, watching cartoon children cuss like sailors is still hilariously jarring. Rude removal remains CN's crown jewel of lost media. The day polite science met potty mouth chaos and standards and practices hit the eject button. Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Fan Club, 1992. Nickelodeon's afternoon lineup used to go Doug, Rugrats, Ren, and Stimpy. Wholesome, absolute nightmare. In Stimpy's Fan Club, our Chihuahua anti-hero Ren opens Stimpy's mail and discovers the cat has an adoring child fan. Ren, already held together with eye twitches and caffeine, slips straight into homicidal jealousy. Cue a 5-minute spiral of muttering voices, sweaty close-ups, and the infamous letter opener scene. Ren stands over a sleeping Stimpy, gripping the blade, whispering, "Soon, you'll be my ex-friend." Kids who tuned in for Rubber Hose Slapstick suddenly found themselves in a Hitchcock short, directed by a lunatic dog. The episode aired uncut at 4 p.m. on a school day. Parents in the kitchen heard porcelain shatter screams and ran in expecting a broken arm. Nope, just Ren threatening to carve up his roommate. Complaints flooded Nick, but the network shrugged. The show's creator, John Kricfalusi, proudly called it a peek into Ren's sick little soul. Why so intense? The writers wanted to parody celebrity envy and fan culture, but their dark satire flew over 8-year-old heads and landed square in nightmare territory. No monsters, no gore, just a house pet plotting murder with an office supply. For plenty of 90s kids, this was the moment we learned cartoons could stare back at us, eyes bloodshot, and whisper, "Sleep tight." Edd, and Eddy, 1 + 1 = Edd, 2003. Cartoon Network usually gave us jawbreaker heists and slapstick scams. Then this late series episode landed and warped Peach Creek into a Salvador Dali painting. It starts innocently. Edd wonders where stuff goes when you open a door. Double D breaks out a chalkboard to explain basic physics. Eddy, of course, sees a chance to profit. But the minute they tug on cartoon logic, reality frays like a loose sweater thread, and the show gleefully keeps pulling. Walls slide away to reveal white voids. Limbs stretch like taffy. Characters pop in and out of 2D flats, turn into wireframes, even fold the sky like poster board. At one point, Edd peels the entire background off the screen and rolls it up while Eddy screams, "Put it back! Lumpy!" It's equal parts hilarious and unsettling because there's no comforting punchline. The universe just breaks. The real "what did I just watch" moment comes when physics finally snaps. The cul-de-sac kids glitch into live-action hands holding cutouts of their own heads, complete with scratchy microphone audio, as if reality rebooted in a college film project. After a quick freeze frame, everything snaps back to normal, and nobody mentions it again. Classic Edd, Edd and Eddy. Give your audience cartoon body horror for 5 straight minutes, then end with a pun about gravy. Kids in 2003 didn't have the vocabulary for existential dread, but they sure felt it. One math joke, and suddenly you're questioning the fabric of space-time before dinner. Sailor Moon, English dub, Day of Destiny, aka most after-school cartoons wrapped with a lesson about sharing. The DIC-dubbed finale of Sailor Moon's first season wrapped with 4 on-screen funerals. Kids tuned in expecting sparkly transformation sequences and got a crash course in battlefield grief instead. Plot crash course. Queen Beryl unleashes her ultimate monster in an Arctic wasteland. The Sailor Guardians, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus plow in to save Earth. In the Japanese original, each Guardian dies protecting Usagi. The North American dub tried to soften the blow, but there's only so much lipstick you can put on a tear-streaked face. One by one, the girls take lethal hits. Sailor Jupiter is impaled by ice spikes, Mercury is frozen solid, Venus collapses beneath falling crystal debris, Mars goes out in a blaze of literal glory, DIC swapped the word die for sleep and overlaid a hopeful voiceover, yet the visuals still show limp bodies fading into sparkles while their brooches hit the snow with that awful final clink. Cue playground silence. Then came Sailor Moon's solo showdown, sobbing, frostbitten, hair ribbons in tatters, against a skyscraper-sized barrel fused with demonic Metalia. She wins, of course, via Rainbow Tiara and the power of love, but not before traumatizing every 10-year-old within cable range. The kicker, next season, the girls are resurrected with zero memory of the slaughter. American audiences were relieved, but also deeply confused. Was that heart-wrenching sacrifice non-canonical homework? Welcome to 90s anime localization. Keep the merchandising, dial down the mortality, hope no one's taping it for emotional evidence. Garfield's Halloween Adventure, 1985, the Ghost Pirate Jump Scare, that outspooked October. For most kids, Halloween TV meant cheery pumpkins, and It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Then Garfield's Halloween Adventure aired and said, fetch the smelling salts. What began as typical lasagna-fueled hijinks, Garfield and Odie trick-or-treating for candy loot, took a hairpin turn into maritime terror no one ordered. Mid-special, the duo drifts downriver in a stolen rowboat, already a red flag, until they reach a decrepit Victorian house on an island shrouded in fog. Inside, an ancient sailor croaks out a campfire tale. 100 years earlier, ruthless pirates buried treasure here and vowed to return at midnight exactly a century later to reclaim it. The clock, of course, is ticking toward 12 o'clock. Cue thunder. Cue shutters slamming. At the stroke of midnight, green phosphorescent mist oozes through the floorboards and spectral buccaneers materialize. Translucent skin hanging off skeletal jaws, swords drawn, every bit as menacing as something out of an 80s R-rated ghost flick. Garfield's pupils shrink to pinpoints, relatable, and the cat who fears Mondays more than death launches into full panic mode, scrambling for escape while the music hits psycho xylophone levels. CBS aired this in Prime Kid hours, no warning labels attached. Many viewers ditched their candy haul to hide behind couches, while parents wondered why a cartoon orange tabby had triggered existential dread. In hindsight, it's a masterclass in tonal bait and switch. Promise candy, deliver nightmare fuel, thanks Garfield, never trusted a rowboat again. And that's our stroll through the cartoon crypt, proof that, for kids, never stopped a studio from slipping in a nightmare or two. If you got flash fried by any repressed memories, hit that like button so the algorithm can send therapy our way. Got another unsettling episode we missed? Drop it in the comments. We're always taking tips for future sleepless nights. This is Cringe Capsule, and until next time, keep your VHS rewound and the lights on, just in case him shows up again.